against some really big teams, especially DRS Esports. That this is a matchup that I can't wait to jump into D2, but I'm already seeing some characters, that were indeed banned away. We had Kennen getting taken out, Akali also. So no big OP characters around the corner this time around, which is good to see. No Kennen, just going to obliterate everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. No Kennen, but that does leave the Camille, which was actually first picked here on the side of DR. Also, Greg gets a Wukong ban out, which is a bit confusing to me from 16-bit. But before we get too in depth into the actual draft, which we can talk about in a second, I just want to say that 16-bit is actually in a huge amount of trouble here because they lost 2-0 to Alliance on the first weekend. And they've been trying to claw their way back. But even if they win this match, they might not make the playoffs, which is crazy to think of considering they won the last tournament.
That would be a pretty insane run of events, but we'll see if they can take it. But I'm happy chappy anyways, because 16-bit, they got himself Alistar. I'm an Alistar one-trick myself, so I'm going to be very annoying. If I see one little mistake, I'm going to be like, I would have done that, but I would have done the mistake because I am not a professional player. And like these guys, they are going to be definitely showing up in big ways. But mainly when I'm looking at 16-bit here, their composition is a very frontline / dive heavy. Got Darius is going to be a really good soak up damage kind of tank, and also dashing out some really, really strong damage in the long run. Lee Sin can just be so mobile around the map, and followed up also as an Alistar. Their engaged potential of 16-bit gaming is absolutely top tier, and I'm intrigued to see if that's going to be enough to topple down a team like DRS Esports to have a really strong draft on their own accord here, 2K.
Yeah, I think we've actually lost this screen share. Have you lost it as well?
We did. Mine is great. So
yeah. Dave, help us.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is fine. That's okay. We'll see exactly what's going to be happening. But it's the early game. Not too much is going to be happening. Everyone's going to be taking.
Alright, we're going through some technical issues once again, but don't worry, because we shall come back really shortly. Once again, sorry about that. We're a little bit limited by the laptop capacity that I have. But we shall be back very, very soon. Hopefully, it's going to be any second now.
And then, Sengoku is just kind of like, D2, he predicted a 2-0. We're just going to mess around in this first game. But anyway.
I did say I'm a curse, I do curse people, right? So I did say Liab and they lost. So
I think I was the one who was cursed. I think they just listened to the actual. Anyway, I'm just confused because 16-bit looked so good in the tournament that Dave and I cast, and then they looked so discombobulated in the first week. Obviously, they kind of picked on the last team in this group last week, so it's kind of hard to see what they're made of. I don't know. It's a very boring pick, but I think I'm going to go with DR 2-1 just because they are in first place at the moment, and they beat Alliance and they look pretty decent, I guess.
Yeah,
I guess.
I get.
No conviction.
That's just to extract yourself away from the equation. Do this entire statement, then I guess so people can't go oh, he said this. It's I said I guess. It's okay. Don't think about it too much, guys. But so far, in terms of early game potential, of course, Lee Sin is going to try and wait, especially to try and hit potentially that level 5 power spike, which is when his ganks become really, really dreadful when he can get that big knockback if possible. But though we're seeing the Baron lane though, Darius is dominating the matchup. Camille is struggling a fair decent amount, mainly because also Camille early on is not the best. She does get traded off pretty heavily by especially that bleeding coming out from Darius. So she's going to be respectful, taking it slow. But Lee Sin might want to try and go for a little dive, as here it is. Aurelion Sol coming away from the mid lane, but she just jumps straight out of it. And that might be a free play coming their way. It was an extra 100 gold for the players.
Yeah, that just shows how good Camille is, right? She took a little bit of extra damage, perhaps unnecessarily early on. And still, even in a terrible spot, even going against 3 members that are trying to gank her, she just hops along the wall and runs away. That is why, in a nutshell, why Camille is such a powerful champion in the meta. And just in general, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, the mobility makes it super hard for you to be able to gank it away. Despite them having actually that Aurelion Sol, they were like, no, I don't want to get ganked, so I'm just going to leave it. And they were able to get just a little bit of extra map pressure from that. Also denying CS away from Camille, which in the long run is a good thing. As now we're going to be on the POV of DRS Esports, as they're going to have that nice Drake lane POV, which is going to be played Miss Fortune with some good poking potential, paired up also with this Brawl, which is a matchup that I'm not going to lie, I like a lot. But one matchup that I don't know what you think. Alistar, Jhin together is not a comp that I enjoy that much in the bottom lane, but I would like to know what you think.
I'm not totally sure that I think they just kind of picked good champions in general, right? I'm not sure they went for the synergy between the Alistar and the Jhin. Looking at the rest of their comp, they have an Olaf, a Camille, and an Oriana. I think Alistair's just kind of there to be annoying and not necessarily get knockups for picks, to be sure. So speaking of picks, though, we do have one going over to DR Esports, and they're able to take out the Darius.
Yeah, Darius going to be taken out. And it seems like that really after that nice early game fight, Darius was able to take and put pressure down on that Camille. She was able to just take that 1v1. As she has indeed hit that power spike I was mentioning earlier. No, you want to try and get to that level 5 position. She got there, easily won that fight versus Darius. So no big surprise whatsoever. That is what we could expect in the Matrix. But now Drake just spawned indeed, as it says on the announcer position. And Intrigued is going to go for it as Brawl moving around, potentially going to try and ward it up, get a little bit of information to make sure no sneaky Lee Sin tries and snatch it away under their nose, which hopefully will not be the case. But Olaf is there too. They might try and go for an early Drake, or at least go for the information there, and they're just not going to focus it just yet, which I think is a good decision. This would be way too early to go for Drake.
Yeah, it seems like they're kind of just dancing around it, making sure that the other team doesn't have it. DR Esports have the Rift Scuttler, so they have the vision there. So just kind of playing things safe. They have they have the vision if ever 16-bit try to jump on it. I want to kind of, maybe I should hold my thought for a moment here because we see multiple red members around this Drake. Let's see how this pans out. Gospel, thankfully, looking over in that general direction.
I mean, it's super smartly played overall. Bullet time going to come on through, getting some nice damage. Unfortunately, it's not going to be hitting too many enemy characters. Does get some nice stun thanks to the Brawl passive, but unfortunately for them, that is going to be the end of that fight. And the main reason why they went for it is because Camille was down in the bot lane position, but Camille going to be joining the fray, getting some nice significant damage. That's 1, that's 2 frags coming their way, and they're looking for way more. 2 more kills on the menu, and when they're going to get it, the stun connects on top of the Jin. He's got also that res, but that is not too much of an issue. 4 kills coming their way as they also secure the Drake. That was an overstay coming out from 16-bit Esports, and they lose that fight dominantly.
You can kind of, feel sympathy for 16-bit here because they had the Olaf at so little health. Look at this health. It doesn't exist. There is no green there. There are no green pixels there. I don't know how he does it, but you see the Camille, she comes in. The Gospel, obviously we're on Gospel's point of view, but you saw the leg sweep just on the side, just completely obliterate 3 members there. It takes out 1 and then gets the other one extremely low, and they're able to finish off that fight. You just saw a leg come out of the side of the screen, Max. I was just like, what is that?
But really, I do really think also that at the end of the day, 16-bit had the good idea initially. Like, Camille is currently on the Baron lane. We can afford to go for the Drake and push and force a fight there, or bait a fight, which I call like pulling off a C9. But otherwise, you can just try and do that. And it would have been a really good play. But the moment they were trying to take too much damage and they allowed Camille to rotate throughout the entire jungle to make it back into that pit, they were like, we're going to still continue taking that fight, which unfortunately used too many resources. You used ultimates. You took some damage. Your mana is maybe not full at its fullest right now, so you can't take elongated fights. And that was just like, Camille, you guys are low. I'm a dive character. I'm going to shut you down, which is what they did. And I think that Camille played that really, really well after an unfortunate mistake from 16-bit. But you know what? That's an extra kill coming on through. Darius taken down once again. He's getting bullied this game here, D2.
We're getting an extremely good example of why Camille has started to be banned lately in these matches after, she's been amazing every single time she's been picked, but now people realizing why she's banned. And okay, Lisa. Okay, yeah, Lisa. Anyway, like I was mentioning, Camille just completely bullying the competition. And once you can't even really hide in your own jungle anymore. You saw Darius just kind of retreat to their side. And they can't get away. The other thing is just the mental pressure it puts on teams. We saw this so often yesterday. Whenever Camille was on the opposing side, they had to either just get bullied by Camille in the lane, or they were just so desperate to force a team fight that they took bad positions, right? And that's exactly what happened here. You saw 16-bit, they're running through a jungle, through a choke point, because they just want to fight as quickly as possible before Camille can get there. And that's what put them in that bad position. The flank from Camille comes through, and it's over.
I got people in the chat also on Trovo saying that, like, when they play Camille, they just can't do anything, which, I agree. Camille is a very high skill cap, and I get it. Oh my god, talking about Camille, there you go. Ultimate, right under tower. Orion Soul trying his best to escape from it, but he will make it away with a slither of HP. And they start going to bump him back on the tower again.
They're so mad.
Back over here. Oh, no, he makes it out. Camille makes it out. No, back into the fight. They try to escape. Nice ultimate from the Brawl. The shield comes on through. He will not survive the encounter, unfortunately. And that's going to be a trade-off going into favor of DRS. What was that? What?
There's no way Camille should get out of there alive. No chance. What is happening? just kind of laughing, like, okay, Camille, you overstayed her welcome. You know, they're so mad at her. They're committing 3 jammies just to take the freaking Camille out, including this the Alistair who headbutts her in between 2 towers. She's like, nah, I'm good, thanks. I'll see you guys later.
That game looked like a game of like ping pong more than anything else, like back and forth, like bing, bong, bong, bing, and every time you'll just be on the other side of that turret. And it was a really nice fight overall, but look at that kill already coming on through. 9 frags to 0.
I might be showing my age.
What?
I might be showing my age a little bit here, but it was less ping pong and more pinball. If you remember the old school game where just around. Oh, but Camille, stop it. Camille, this is illegal.
Stop it. Get some help.
Okay. Looks like looks like 16-bit gear caught on, and they're like, okay, we're just going to stop you here. This is too much.
Hey, it's not going to be a flawless game. There's still going to be 1 frag coming on through for the other side of 16-bit. So overall, it is not over for them whatsoever. But 9 frags alone is starting to get a little bit scary. Drake is back up. There's going to be the Ocean Drake. If they could cap it, that'll be good, especially for the likes of the Orianna that does have some pretty big mana pool that it would be good for him to be able to get a little bit more. As now, here you go. Also, Herald Rift Scuttler, as I like to call it sometimes, is going to be coming on through into the mid position, chunking down that second turret. They already picked up the first one earlier, so once again, their map control is going to be top tier. But that's going to be an Ocean Drake coming their way once again, and they didn't even need the full team. Why are they taking their time? What are they doing? Hello? Okay, they just wanted to make sure that the jungler got it, I guess, but it was the Orianna. I don't know what they were doing there. They were having fun. They were playing with their food, but at the end, it is still a Drake regardless.
Yeah, it's like we're going to make sure that Orianna... I don't know. Maybe they're trying to bait out a fight. You know, that actually might have been what they were trying to do, right?
Yeah.
Like, if they just stand there and the other team just kind of, blindly rushes in, it's like, okay, 3 dead, and then it's basically game over. Like, right now, they have like a 95% chance of winning, but then it's basically game over if the other team just like, kind of blindly rushes in and they get wiped. So I guess there is that.
Yeah, I mean, I only see the Darius on the minimap too. I know Aurelion Sol was like in mid for a split second. Now we're going to see where the Alistar is. They were so split away from each other, and they realized this. They seem like, okay, they got a 2-man team up in the top lane position. We got Darius Lee Sin up there. They cannot contest it. Their jungler is nowhere to be seen. Aurelion Sol going to jump on through, try and get a little bit of stun. Only connects on a Brawl. Unfortunately, curtain call from the Jhin, trying to get some nice significant damage. But at the end, once again, this Orianna is feeling more like the jungler than the actual jungle player. I'm just saying, he's securing every single global objective, but overall, the macro mechanics of DRS is so on point, they're just not falling behind. This should be an easy game for them.
I'm just surprised that they made the Baron call. It was just so quick. They saw members on the other side. They saw people out of position. They're like, let's go. Usually, it doesn't really work out that well for them. You don't want to be taking 50-50 in that situation, but they realized how ahead they were. 9-1 in kills at that moment. They couldn't be contested, and they take the Baron easy peasy.
Yeah, now I want to see what they're going to be doing with this Baron pickup. Like, I think especially here, you want to go where waves are going to get pushed really heavily. Top lane, unfortunately, got shoved in pretty hard, so they got to try and focus on that if possible. But the Baron is definitely going to be a big winning conditions for them to try and get just a little bit more objective control in terms of tower. And if they can do so, they can just steamroll the entire game and snowball it, and they should be good to go. Aurelion Sol caught out of position, but we'll be able to just escape it because Aurelion Sol is still a pretty fast character overall. But a 3-4-man push happening in mid lane. They are looking for the second turret.
I mean, Lee Sin can't even pick up his own red buff. Camille is just always there. Camille, could you stop it for just a second, please? I'm just trying to get my red buff. Okay, miss. Anyway, this is just domination right now. And the thing is, the worst part here for 16-bit is they don't really have a path back into the game, right? Like, Aurelion Sol can kind of fight. Oh, like they're trying to fight, but I don't know if they could take this. Yeah, they're just going against Misfortune and an Orianna, and they have so much damage in the late game that I don't even know if they're going to be able to come back, even if they do come back, Max.
Man, like, he's just not taking his chances like that. Nope, that's an ultimate. That's a knockback. I am not taking my chances against this Camille because she is just so far ahead. And now she's going to put focus down to the Jhin. That's going to be the GA procced away. It's close to the tower, so should be able to survive without too much of an issue, and he does indeed. But unfortunately, that GA is out of commission for the next remaining minutes. So he's going to have to be very, very careful of his position for the next few engagements. But this is like 10-2 to the advantage of DR Esports. How did they lose this? This should not be possible. They cannot lose this game. I'm calling it right now. If they lose this, I'm gonna jump out the window or something. I don't know. It's just that unlikely that they lose that it's not gonna happen.
I mean, it could be just like massive lag. I don't know. That's the only thing I can really think of at the moment. But I mean, this is what I was saying earlier, though. How does 16-bit come back. Even if they come back, they have a worse late game competition, in my opinion.
Mm.
I mean, would you agree with that? I'm looking at this and like I feel like Misfortune and Misfortune and Orianna can just carry the team fights in the late game, even if it gets to an even position.
I mean, Orianna is just like one of the best mid laners when it comes down to it. One of the best mages in the game entirely. The CC, the shielding potential, the burst damage potential is all there. It's just like a perfect cocktail, like perfectly balanced, just like in a James Bond movie. And they just shake it. And they're having a fun time overall. So I do fully agree with what you said. Like their composition is just so good right now for like most stages of the game that DR like should just be able to take this nicely and smoothly. As now they're going to go for the engage, try and catch out of position the Aurelion Sol. Unfortunately, a waste of the ultimate from the Camille that is being really, really useful so far. There's also bullet time from the MF trying to get some initial damage. Unfortunately, putting herself in a little bit of a scary position. And the curtain call, you have a Brawl on the side. You know that curtain call is going to do negative damage almost. And that is going to be all said and done. And now they're going to go straight back towards the Dragon Pit to secure the Cloud Drake once again.
Okay, I actually have a question. Is there a champion in the league that actually you do negative damage to? Like he absorbs the damage and makes him stronger? Like an anime character?
It's like, oh, the power of friendship is on my side. What are you gonna do about it?
Does that exist? If you like press it, if you have like a certain ability and you press it while they attack you, do you get like extra help? That'd be actually an interesting.
That'd be actually an interesting one. It's like an anime, like in animes when you got the moment where the main protagonist is losing to the villain, and then you start having this childhood flashback. Then you know that you're in for a nice little fun moment.
But it's like when you use your energy beam, right? And he just he just absorbs it and he's stronger. But then your energy beam is so strong that it just annihilates him. I don't know, something like that.
I can go even further than beyond, and this fight is going further than beyond for sure. Alistar unfortunately caught out napping in the middle of that fight, and he's going to get absolutely obliterated by once again this Orianna. And they are up 12-2. They cannot do any wrong. And now Baron is up for the taking. They got 3 Drakes already so far. Can they lose this one? I'm pretty sure that is not going to happen. Baron is going to be a pretty easy decision for them as they just keep the lanes pushing. Mid is getting pushed. Bot lane is getting pushed. Top lane should be getting there pretty soon also. They can do no wrong. Even if they take a fight that is maybe not the cleanest initially, they should be able to win it because they're just that far ahead.
Oh, yikes. Okay. The problem here for 16-bit is if anyone even gets remotely caught off, they're just instantly dead because of so much damage coming out from DR. You see it again here. Orianna is just picking up people left and right. Obviously, got to give some credit to the rest of her team for holding them down while she smacks them in the face. But this is just brutal.
Alistar trying his best to make it inside of there. Unfortunately, he popped his ulti really early, which makes him really oh my, I take it back. He is not tanky. He is not tanky anymore. As now that's going to be the Nexus that is going to get slowly ticked down bullet and bullet after time. And that is going to be all said and done. The first game of this P3 series shall be indeed going away of DR Esports. GG, well play. I mean, what a game. Like their macro, their map control was so high up there that it was just given no opportunity for 16-bit gear to make it back into the game, and it just pummeled them down fight after fight after fight flawlessly.
It's like DR has been the biggest surprise of this tournament for me.
Absolutely.
Because they started the first weekend, they beat Team Reborn. We didn't really know who DR was. We didn't know who Reborn was. Like, okay, sure, fine, DR's better. We knew who a 16-bit gear was. They lost to Alliance 2-0. It was kind of a sloppy performance by 16-bit at the time, right? So we're like, oh, crap, Alliance is the new, really good team in this tournament. And then DR come out and surprise everyone and beat Alliance last week 2-1. And we're like, wait a second, DR, what is happening here? And then today, first game, domination over 16-bit. DR, they by far are the big surprise team of this tournament so far.